had the biggest smile on my face. My boss had just told me that a new girl was joining the office. But this was not the good news. Good evening, everybody, and Mr. Master in particular. The good news was that this girl was going to be my personal assistant. And boy, did I have plans for her. I was going to take a list of all of my boring things to do and put it straight on her job description. Boring emails, follow-up calls, anything that I didn't want to do was to be offloaded neatly onto my personal assistant. But as usual, when I had big dreams, big plans for life, life had big plans for me. This girl walked in, blue jeans, pink t-shirt, and really big earrings. Not my ideal concept of what a personal assistant would look like, but she would do. I commenced her introduction to the team and to her work, to her job profile, and I got her started with her work. I sat her down and I explained to her about how she should send an email out to one of the clients. This email, which I had been putting off sending for a couple of weeks. Just as I was about to turn around and leave and go back to my cabin, she said, "Excuse me, 1 second, please." I was like, "Yes?" She said, "I just want a little bit of help." I thought to myself, what a good deed it would be to actually help her. "Okay, sure, no problem. What help would you like?" She said, "I've never sent out an email before. Could you just help me draft it?" And before I knew, there I was, sitting in front of her system, typing out the whole email. And I got out of her seat, and she neatly pressed send and smiled at me and said, "Thank you." And this happened once, twice, thrice, 4 times. I was really wondering, who is the boss here, her or me? I gave her an inch, and there she was, taking a mile. I was wondering what to do. Every time she would ask for help, it meant that I was doing the work which I had given to her, myself. I asked my boss, I asked my parents, I asked my friends. Everybody just shrugged their shoulders and said, "I don't know. Deal with it. Figure it out yourself." I found the solution in one of the most unusual places. I was reading out a story to one of my cousins, and the story happened to be about a snake. The snake lived in this village, and these people, the people and the snake actually lived together pretty amicably, except the snake used to bite anyone and everyone who used to get in its way. The villagers slowly started to hate this snake, and one day they decided that enough is enough. We are going to get together and put an end to this. So the villagers gathered rocks, sticks, stones, everything that they could find in hand, and marched off to find the snake. They stopped outside the house and they said, "Snake, come out from there. You step out of your house and this is the last day of your life. See what we're going to do to you. You bite us and you get it back." The snake shriveled up in its little hole, prayed to God that somebody would come and save its life. And luckily, the snake's prayers were answered. A wise old man was walking past when he saw the commotion. And he said, "Hey, what's going on here?" And the people explained to him the situation. He thought about it and figured that killing the snake was probably not the best idea. So he made an alternative suggestion. He said, "If I make the snake promise that it shall never bite again, will you let it live?" They thought about it and then they agreed. They said, "Yeah, that sounds like a good deal to us, but you make that snake come out and promise." So the old man says, "Hello, snake, why don't you come out from there? I have a deal that will save your life. Come out here and promise to everyone that you shall never bite again, and they will promise to spare your life." So the snake comes out of its hole, the snake makes its promise, the people make their promise, and everybody parted ways. The problem was, though, that the people did not forget about the hatred that they had for that snake. Every time it would go out into the market, they would kick it, throw stones at it, or hit it with a stick, and it was really weak and rude. So it went to the old wise man and said, "Wise man, before you came into my life, I used to do whatever I wanted. I was so happy. I ruled the world. I lived like a king. And now that I've promised never to bite again, these people, look at what they've done to me. I'm bruised and burned, black and blue. What is it that I should do? I really felt like this snake, bruised and burned, black and blue. Every time I tried to extend a helping hand, there I was, getting hurt and doing so much more work than I should do. The wise old man said, "Dear snake, I did tell you not to bite, but I never said anything about not hissing." So the snake went out into the market, and when someone approached it, it stood up and it hissed. And the person immediately backed off, wondering if the snake's old temperament had come back. The second time it happened, the snake again hissed, and again the person backed off. Slowly, the word spread, and the villagers were all worried that the snake would go back to its usual ways of biting, and everyone stayed out of its way and respected its space. I thought, very nice, but how is this going to solve my problem? So I turned the page, and luckily for me, there was a little 3-step process on how to hiss like a snake. The first step is to actually say how you feel in a very respectful manner. The second thing to do is to explain why you feel that way. And the last thing to do is to suggest an alternative solution. So I thought, yeah, this sounds like a simple solution to my very difficult problem. The next time that this girl asked me for help, I sat her down. I said, "See, listen, you've been here for a month now, and I've been helping you whenever you've asked for it. But the problem that I'm finding is that I'm helping you with the same things again and again. I would really like for you to grow in this organization, and I really want you to learn how to do this on your own. Why don't you give it your best shot? Type out this email, and what I will do is I will take a look at it when you're done, and I will give you my feedback on how it can be improved." She gave me a weird look, finally realizing that I had figured it out. She sulkingly went back to her desk, but she completed that email, and she did a really good job. So this happened once, twice, thrice, and finally I was set free. My personal assistant was no longer my personal boss. All I have to say is that this simple solution really helped me out. I know that there are problems of many different kinds, but there are problems of many different kinds. Some come from in front and some come from behind. But with this knowledge, I know that I can see that now my troubles will have troubles with me. Over to you.